In New York of the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers and local residents gathered at Casino Park for Buddha Day ceremony on Sunday. Tzu Chi Day and Mother's Day were also celebrated with various activities that attracted a diverse crowd of close to 800 people. But first, at the Tzu Chi USA headquarters in California, over 1,000 people came to join a restful Buddha Day service.
At the Tzu Chi USA headquarters in San Dimas, 600 volunteers led by an elder from a local monastery honor the birth of the Buddha. As the sky darkens, the crowd swells to over 1,000 from different walks of life.
I think Tzu Chi is quite different to other religious groups because it helps you slow your pace and empty your mind and think more deeply about some things. And it's very grand and peaceful.
Meanwhile, on a warm afternoon in New York, nearly 800 people come to Casino Park for a triple celebration of Buddha Day, Tzu Chi Day and Mother's Day. Bowing to the Buddha's feet, picking up a flower and slowly washing away the dust in their hearts, volunteers and local residents offer a silent prayer to the Buddha. Tzu Chi volunteer Wu Xiuyue, who is disabled, nevertheless joins the pilgrimage. She says she used to be insecure and self-conscious, but now has confidence that she's a unique individual. The relaxing service also attracts people from outside the Chinese community.
I'm not a Buddhist, I'm a Roman Catholic. I'm a vegetarian, so I try to live a decent life and try to take care of the environment, try to control my feelings and my thoughts. So it's I kind of have an affinity to Buddhism, and I just enjoy coming here.
The fact that so many people came together to actually, you could sense like that calmness and the peacefulness, and I really like that, and I want that for my family as well.
Encouraging children to serve tea to their mothers and members of the public to write a prayer on a Bodhi leaf, New York volunteers make sure no one is left out of the 3-in-1 celebrations.
In Australia, Tzu Chi people in Perth, Gold Coast and Sydney separately held Buddha Day ceremonies. There were tears of joy on Gold Coast when volunteers taught children how to serve tea to their mothers. And in an open-air event in Sydney, residents out for a Sunday stroll stopped and took part in a ritual to mark the Buddha's birthday.
In a busy square in the eastward suburb of Sydney, passers-by are stopped in their tracks and even follow the volunteers by putting their hands together to worship the Buddha.
It's nice to see everybody joining in and feeling part of the occasion. Beautiful. I love the symbolism of the water, and the feel of the water is really nice.
Children and parents from the Australian Tzu Chi Academy are also getting to know the Enlightened One. For many, this is the first time they have taken part in a Buddha Day event.
And I had a really good time. I'm the Catholic, but I'm also part Buddhist now.
Even boisterous children calm down and follow the volunteers in offering a silent prayer. Meanwhile, in Gold Coast, volunteers teach children how to serve tea to their mothers, who are quickly moved to tears. The touching interactions remind City Councillor Margaret Grummett of Tzu Chi's service in the community.
When the floods hit Queensland, because we weren't prepared, we never expected it, and we weren't ready. And just to know that a phone call was made and you were up there and all your volunteers and your supplies, we are very grateful for that.
Finally, from the east to the west coast of Australia, volunteers and community residents in Perth are also marking Buddha Day. Wherever they are, the faithful offer sincere prayers for all living things on earth.
Buddha Day festivities took place all over Asia on May 8th. In Malaysia, the ceremonies were preceded by a meatless campaign, and in the Philippines, caregivers made it possible for mobile seniors to bathe the Buddha in their own homes. And in Guangdong, China, Tzu Chi volunteers went on a backbreaking search mission for the ceremonial white flowers that were hard to find this year. But first, let's go to Shanghai, where the stately celebrations brought peace and even tears to the participants. Here in Changfeng, Shanghai, participants at the Buddha Day ceremony feel as pure as the lapis lazuli Buddhas. Every movement to complete the ritual is meticulous and practiced. The atmosphere at the Tzu Chi liaison office is pious and serene, and the sacred occasion moves some to shed tears of repentance. Elsewhere in Shanghai, a Buddha bathing ceremony is also taking place at the Jiading Tzu Chi recycling station. Parents bring their children to offer their respect to the Buddha, while invalids seek spiritual peace.
We need to cleanse human hearts, purify society, and turn hatred into a pure stream of goodness.
The peace and tranquility at the Buddha Day ceremony in Shenzhen, Guangdong keeps a snoozing infant deep in the streams. The white Michelias as offerings at the ceremony did not come by easily. As the blooming season was postponed this year due to the weather, supply was disappointingly low. Volunteers literally searched high and low, climbing tall trees and scouring the community to collect these fragrant blossoms. Meanwhile, in the Philippines, even though the approaching tropical storm Eri brought some wind and rain, Tzu Chi volunteers went from door to door to give shut-in seniors a chance to observe Buddha Day.
I'm feeling very happy.
Volunteer Cai Xiuxia is 92 years old, and sitting next to her is 86-year-old Yang Zhenxian, who is one of the earliest Tzu Chi media volunteers in the country. On Buddha Day of Tzu Chi's 45th year, caregivers give thanks to their predecessors. Before the break of dawn, Tzu Chi volunteers in Johor Bahru, Malaysia, have already arrived at the ceremony site. More than 2,000 offerings were made by volunteers and community residents, old and young, who pray together for peace in this world. In addition to the grand ceremony, volunteers also plan to get 10,000 people to go meatless for a day on May 8th. Several local vegetarian restaurants give their support to the cause.
We've taken the initiative to promote a meatless diet, and we hope that more vegetarian restaurants or Buddhist practitioners can try, in their own ways, to do the same.
If everyone can just make this small change in their lives, even just once a week, in the long run we can definitely make a positive change in our society, the environment and our future generations.
In the beginning of the meatless campaign, volunteers were met with some challenges.
I knew from the beginning that it wasn't an easy task, but looking back, it helped me see the beauty of teamwork in Tzu Chi.
Malaysia's Tzu Chi Buddha Day culminates in a meatless campaign as participants show their devotion by purifying their souls through a compassionate diet.